from Manyala, the fastest man in Africa, and you're watching Side Chat with Nasho. Please subscribe and keep following.
The ongoing World Cup has presented a couple of surprises that none of us really quite expected. First surprise that came into the World Cup early this week was the beating of Argentina by Saudi Arabia. I know most of us never quite saw that coming. And then the major match that was played yesterday was Japan versus Germany. At the beginning of it all, we thought Germany had it all in control until Japan pulled a late minute winner. I guess those are the surprises of football. Welcome to another edition of Side Chat with Nation. Time for us to look a bit into the ongoing matches at Doha, Qatar. And joining me again, if you're on this particular channel, is none other than Eric Shilenje. Eric Shilenje is the resident African football analyst. The reason why I'm having him here is because African matches are beginning to be played. We had Senegal losing the other day to Netherlands, and we have another game that is going to be played later on today, and that is Cameroon versus Switzerland. Eric Shilenje, thank you so much for making time. Nice to have you on the show.
Thank you, Nation. How is you, Bana?
Everything is good on my end. It's been a minute since we spoke. The last time we spoke was about the AFCON tournament. I know.
Yeah, sure. It's been a while, huh?
Yeah, it's been a while.
Always a pleasure to be here.
Thank you so much, Shilenje. Very quickly, Shilenje, a lot of surprises we've seen in the World Cup so far. Nobody saw Argentina losing to Saudi Arabia. Nobody saw Germany losing to Japan. Today we have Cameroon versus Switzerland. Should we expect any surprises from the Cameroon national team?
I'm not really sure about that. I'm not really sure about Cameroon causing a surprise. Though in the world of football, it is possible. But I can't put my money on Cameroon to turn a surprise to Switzerland. And if they do so, then for me that will not be a surprise because in terms of comparing Cameroon to Switzerland, they don't have that very huge margin. Let me say in terms of the quality of the teams. There isn't that very a monumental difference between these two teams. So Cameroon winning against Switzerland, for me, cannot be that huge surprise as compared to Saudi Arabia beating Argentina that has Messi and other world-class players.
Okay. Shilenje, maybe looking at the Cameroon team at the World Cup right now, they had a mixed amount of results at the AFCON tournament. And definitely we know at the end of it all, Senegal is the one that took that particular one. But looking at the team right now, I mean, in terms, if you compare it with the team that played at the AFCON, I know there's not a lot of changes. And in between, there's been a lot of infixing by Samuel Eto'o, who's the president of the that is Fekafafoot, who's the FA president there. I mean, from an analyst's point of view, how would you rate this team vis-a-vis the one that played at the AFCON tournament?
For sure, in terms of the team and the composition of the squad, there isn't so much difference. The same players that played the AFCON that are in the team at the moment, apart from just a few additions to strengthen the team. But I feel the change in the technical bench when Sami Eto'o came in as the Fafet president, he came in with a new coach in Rigobert Song, who is a Cameroon legend. And I feel, yes, despite them qualifying for World Cup, I think they are now bound to encounter some real tests, because look, in their journey to qualify for the World Cup, the incoming coach, Rigobert Song, came in when Cameroon had already qualified to the last elimination round when they played Algeria, winning on away goals. Yeah. So really, that one is not enough test for me for a new manager coming in. A manager can win because that was a knockout, two-legged game, give or take. A manager can win that. But now when it comes to a real tournament, here like World Cup, we're having a coach, Rico Batsong, who has no World Cup experience at all. His assistant, Sebastian Minye, I know you are aware of him.
Yeah. Former
Minye
Harambee
has,
Stars coach.
yeah. Minye has no prior experience in World Cup. His only experience is AFCON, which even Rigo Batsong doesn't have. So these are two managers who have not managed a big tournament. So most of the things they shall be learning on job, you know. And this is a huge stage where you cannot gamble or come to learn, you know. So I think from a technical bench point of view, going into this game, Cameroon needed not to sack Carlos Queiroz, who was their former manager. Despite them going down to Egypt in the semis at AFCON, they needed to keep the manager. But since we are already here with Rigobert Song as their new manager to the World Cup, they have a lot to do. And for them to win against Switzerland, Switzerland is a seasoned uh, World Cup team. You know, if you look at their history in their last 5 appearances, they've never lost an opener. They've never gone down in an opener in the last five World Cup appearances, compared to Cameroon, who have never won actually an a World Cup game in the last 7 games. You know, the last win for Cameroon was actually in 2002. Was it against Saudi Arabia?
Yeah.
And throughout 2010 World Cup, they lost all games. Yeah. In 2014 Brazil, they lost all games. They missed out in 2018, and now they are here facing Switzerland. So for me, that will be a very uphill climb for them to beat Switzerland, who've been really consistent. They've been on a good form. They eliminated France in the Euros. France, defending champions. I think with that kind of confidence coming into this game, I think they're in the driver's seat. But again, every time you are told this is football, anything can happen. But I feel Switzerland are clear favorites going into this game.
Okay. I mean, looking at the Cameroon national team, maybe as we move into the other African game that is going to be played, that is Portugal versus Ghana. I know we've talked a lot about Portugal. We've talked a lot about Ghana with you on this particular platform.
Sure.
Maybe the general feeling is I've been speaking to our friend from Ghana, that is Eugene Oforisoti. And on ground, the fans in Ghana are quite optimistic about this year's squad, you know, having Otto Addo at the helm of the club. I mean, from an analyst's point of view, and I feel like you've been in journey with Ghana all through the competitions, even when that mysterious thing happened in Uruguay, in South Africa against Uruguay. And I know that that thing is Uruguay is going to be playing against Ghana at some point in this competition. I mean, very quickly looking at Ghana versus Portugal, what will be your reflections on this particular game?
One thing that is very outstanding going to this game is actually off the field. The controversy around Cristiano Ronaldo having done that explosive interview to criticize Man United and its manager. And these are controversies that have really dragged their way into the World Cup. In that yesterday, he parted way with Man United mutually. Though behind the curtains, we cannot really know what happened before, maybe in their discussions leading to termination of the contract. But I think these are factors that are likely to affect this game. They're likely to spill over to this game. The controversies around Cristiano Ronaldo. Yes, he's a big player, but how is he able to handle this controversy? It's not the Ronaldo that we knew some times back. He's aged, you know. The age has really caught up with him. He's not in the best of his form. He's not scored those many goals that we know he does at club level this season. In fact, he struggled for form. And when it comes to Portugal, he is the main man. He's the captain. He's the center point for Portugal team. So is he going to rise up to the occasion and put away all the controversies around him to some authority against Ghana? That is a question to be answered. But looking at the Ghana squad, also there is some contrasting fortunes for Ghana, because going to this competition, Ghana is the lowly ranked team on FIFA logs. At number 61 is the lowest ranked team going to this competition. But sometimes those are factors that don't count when it comes to field of play.
Yeah.
So in terms of organization of Ghana, I feel that Ghana at some point they have some lucky charm. You know, the African lucky charm really works with Ghana. Yeah. If you look at their previous results in 2006 Germany World Cup, where they came in as debutants and shocked the world, beating Czech Republic, beating USA, you know, and going to the second round. That was a different Ghana. In this World Cup edition, I'm still standing with Ghana. I feel they can still offer a surprise, you know. Given that they're in the same group with Uruguay, of which they have to bury their hatchet against Uruguay. They have Portugal, who, despite yes being a good team, but they sometimes struggle against African opponents. And I feel Ghana have a chance just to get under the skin of Portugal, to sneak in a surprise win or to get a draw against Portugal, just to set a momentum before facing the other teams in the group, that is Uruguay. And what's the other team in the group?
We have Uruguay. I think South Korea is also in the group.
Yeah, and Korea. Yeah. So I feel Ghana, despite having all the challenges, despite qualifying through thin and thick, you know, just making it to the World Cup, they have a point to prove to the African fans, to their Ghanaian fans and the world at large, that they are still a powerhouse in Africa. And given that in the last 3 editions, Ghana have only failed to qualify to the second round only once, then I think the good omens are with Ghana this time round, just to make things right in this tournament.
Okay. I don't know whether you can give us a prediction, Cameroon versus Switzerland and Portugal versus Ghana.
A prediction?
Yeah. How do you see the scores would be? Cameroon versus Switzerland and
Cameroon versus Switzerland, I feel 2-1 in favor of Switzerland. And Ghana beating Portugal 1-0.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll remind you about this call line tomorrow. Thank you so much, Shilenje.
Thank you to Nation.
Personally, I'm so conflicted because I'm in South Korea. I'm afraid of saying something against South Korea because I'm in their country, but at the same time, my loyalty is tested because Ghana is going to be playing the same squad in the same group.
I think the best between loyalty and Africanism shall win on that day,
Yeah, I
and
know.
it will come clearly out of you.
Yeah, I remember I told a friend of mine today, he asked me, so was it today or yesterday? He was asking me, so Nation, I know you're in Korea, so which team are you going to support? I just said, I'm going to go for an African team. You
Should be
just have
that
to,
way.
you just have to forgive me. But on this one, I'll have to go with the African team.
Sure, you follow your heart.
Sure, Shilenje, thank you so much for making time. So I'm pretty sure we're going to be having more conversations with the AFCON. I know the schedules are a bit tight. Just for our viewers who do not know how hard it is to put this interview together, we have a time difference of around 6 hours. So right now it's like 5 p.m. where I am, and where Shilenje is like 10. It's like 11, yeah? It's like 11.
Yeah, 11
So
a.m.
yeah, so you can imagine the time difference, but we'll try as much as possible to see what we can squeeze in tonight, to squeeze in for you guys. Well, those are the predictions that you have. Cameroon versus Switzerland 2-1, and Portugal versus Ghana, we have 1-0. We are going to be talking about other games in the group and other AFCON matches that are going to be played later on this week. In case you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe, like, follow, and share with your friends. See you on the next one.